Hey everyone, it's Max from SGS, and today we're going over Exfil's second and final expansion. Let's get straight into Exfil Co-op Hazard Recon Onslaught Pack. We've got a ton of new hazard cards for you, including enemies and encounters alike. We have 3 new environmental hazards, 2 on low and 1 on high. For enemies and biohazards, we have 4 new contenders, including a couple you've already seen before for filler and special enemies. Let's start off by going over the environmental hazards included in this pack. First off, the hazard breach. Once drawn, place it in the affected room. Until the tile is discarded, any further entry requires the player to draw another hazard card in that same room, acting as if it's brand new every single time. Next up, close quarters. This is a simple one, also placed in its activation room when drawn. From now on, the tile is available to be moved through by both players and hazards alike. However, no shooting or throwing is allowed into the room. Now for something brand new. The Spore Nest. This one is tied specifically to the small Spore Bug hazard cards also included in the deck. The rules are simple. At the end of every round, after all activations, spawn a new Spore Bug in on top of the Spore Nest. They have the same aggro rules as all the other enemies, and you keep spawning them until someone either blows up the Spore Nest through different means, or until the cards run out. To begin with our new enemy types, the Crazed Survivor. This guy is a human enemy, 4 health, 2 speed, but he works a bit differently than usual. He only attacks you if you end your turn in the same space as him. And he also goes after biohazards that are within 2 spaces of him. His whole thing is that he's more of a keep-away character. He acts as a means of switching up gameplay rather than straight up being area of denial. Of course, the most interesting aspect is that he's a human enemy, meaning biohazards are hostile to him, and he won't trip or even react to certain items and weapons that are focused more on biohazard enemy types, much like the counter operator. Speaking of counter operators, the new final hazard, the Juggernaut. This guy is an absolute beefcake, covered in armor and strapped with an automatic shotgun. His gun has the same limitations as yours, having a damage drop-off after every space away, dealing 2 damage in the same space and 1 damage adjacent. He hits all targets, including other enemies. As you can see by the scribbled on notes, there's an additional rule. He spawns in with 2 counter operators as a team, which are required to take down in order to clear him out and finish the game with him spawned. Alright, that does it for our overview. I hope you guys enjoy the new Exfil Onslaught pack. It adds in not as many cards in terms of bulk like the Surplus pack, but by nature of it, it bends the game's playstyle. You're going to have to work around all the new enemies individually, and the way they synergize with others turns the combat and movement into more of a tactical chess game, which is what I wanted from the start. And I feel like this game, this pack, now that I've refined the ideas and actually put it out, is a really, really good way of finalizing that. Now, that being said, I'm finished with the core box of Exfil. I'm not making any more booster packs for it. If I were to make anything else, including the base game of Exfil, it would be a big box. It would be something that completely bends the rules and changes the game. I'm talking something crazy, like a campaign mode, or some kind of story-driven adventure for a whole table using the base game's mechanics. But that's for another day, further down the line. I have more Exfil related stuff that doesn't have to do with the base game to work on. like the video game. I've got a bunch of other projects related to role-playing games like Branch and Bone. I want to continue working on Ruins of Roguewood, which I've quietly, fully redesigned, and I've got more decked expansions planned. So, let's finish it off here. I hope you guys are happy with the pack and excited for what I make next.